This one,
Edges.
the nut. How do I do tracking? Track, man. How's it going? We are part 4 now. I am filming this on a new camera, new microphone, and I kind of splurged on a Osmo Pocket 4. So hopefully the content gets better, but at least the quality I know of the recording should be better than my phone. Hopefully my content creation is better than when I did it on my phone. But for now, I basically need to find out where I'm at, because at the moment I've filmed part 1 and that's live as of this recording right now. Part 2 and 3 have been filmed. I haven't edited it. That's going to be tonight's job, maybe. So I'm going to film part 4 now with the new camera. So what do we have? Well, what I do need to do is reveal the colour. So I'm going to do that in the sun because I think it highlights the colour just a little bit better. So 3, 2, 1. So we have gone for a crazy pink. Although it kind of changes colours depending on the lighting, it kind of goes to this lovely, like, I don't know, purple. Yeah, a lovely purple. But in the light, when I showed you it in the sun, it goes bright pink. And of course, it's got all sorts of glitter. It's very reflective. I need to thank Brian of Dangerous Brian Creations for this. Because originally we were going to go satin, and we did. But I then agreed with him that the colour just didn't pop enough. So then he keyed it all back and did a gloss, and I think you will agree it's pretty archaic in terms of its brightness. Now, because of the paint and having stress streams, and well, when I got this, I was just stressing over, oh my god, I've got so much to do on it, because where paint goes into all the holes, you got to drill them out, make sure you got clearance, and obviously I'm still learning the process of offsets and tolerances when you apply loads of poly paint, especially something with glitter. It just adds a lot to the sauce, so to speak. So there's a couple of things I would change in terms of maybe a different way of masking off this, because now I've got like this edge, which it's all fine, but I'm just wondering whether actually to add more of a larger pocket to allow the paint to roll over, so then it's got a bit of a stronger edge, so to speak. So I have placed in the bolt ferrules, and they're all lovely. I have put in the inserts, which will come in a bit, and one thing I have done, because I'm trying to keep this all low profile, and because of the radius of the top, the low profile side I'm keeping sort of consistent, so I've gone with the Dunlop recessed strap pins. And for a custom guitar you need a custom pickup, and for a custom pickup you need it to work well and be in harmony with the design ethos of that instrument, and this is what we've done. It's radiused as well. It's 76mm pole spacings, so that when at the angle of 17 degrees, it's going to look perfect. This is all going to marry up really, really well. And the basically, when you've got to adjust all your pole screws, this will just take in and sort of remove any aesthetical oddities from when you raise a pole screw high and you want it still, you know, in keeping and flush with everything. So this is what that's going to do. The neck is painted as well, which is this lovely thing going on here, and I've painted it in the chestnut acrylic paints, so I've gone with a satin just to keep it consistent with the finish. I wouldn't want to use nitro when the body is a modern poly as well. So what I need to do to this still is remove all the tape, roll the fretboard edges, and then I can start getting the nut really dialed in. And on the subject of that, using my guides and everything, the nut is more or less there. It's all kind of cut in, so now it's about placing it in and making sure the heights are perfect. So I'll go through that process as well. So it's a really exciting time. The one thing I'm waiting for is the pickup, and that's because I've actually got the bobbins here. My friend Matt, who helped me move the planer thicknesser, has actually SLA resin printed these because I can't get the right bobbins to my spec, so we just had to make them. So where the support material goes on the underside, it's just a bit textured at the moment, and I can feel those like touch points of the scaffolding, so to speak. So I just need to sand that down and remove those, and then probably sand it up to about 1000 grit, ready for winding. If this works, then I can then kind of gives me a green light in my mind to buy my own. So let's get cracking. So what I've just had to do, unfortunately, is because of the paint layers, and I guess because we went for gloss, it added extra layers of paint to those recesses. So where the back plates are going to go into the body, unfortunately, when I put 3mm aluminium covers, which is a giveaway, it sat a bit proud and I wasn't happy. And we're talking 0.5 mil, if that, and I just wasn't happy with it. So Fletcher of Smelly Cat Creations sent me some parts, and what I've had to do is, don't know if you should be able to see that. Can you see that? There's some tool marks where I've had to skim it, and then on the outer side I've then polished it up. You can see the reflections. That's pretty good. You can see it actually in the video. So now I'm just doing the actual bridge cover. I mean, you can see there's some tool marks maybe. Yeah, so I'm going to polish these up to a nice mirror, so it's almost like a chrome backplate, and I guess it would act as shielding. Yeah, originally we did go for a funky fiber lasered thing, and I don't know, because of how glossy this thing is turning out to be, I think polishing it up to like a chrome finish with the parts he supplied me is going to be the best way. But thank you, Fletcher, so much for these parts. It's yeah, they're great. Oh, and also this is a spare one he sent me, the back plate for the pickup, so everything again is very custom. So yeah, test fit, make sure everything is the right height before I go too far, and then get it all polished. Just collected the pickup, and this was the first attempt, and unfortunately, I don't know if you can see it there, but here, they were coiled absolutely fine, but just after a bit of time, the next day, they basically popped out and broke at this top edge, and it was the same with this one as well. So what we did to revise it, I think it was basically, you could see it actually you can see it deforming. I don't know if you can see the copper through it. Basically, because of that cutout being slightly larger for where the pole screw goes into and sits, this basically meant the contact point, or the amount of material on that center slot piece, was marginal and very thin, and obviously that's where it broke. And I would imagine it will probably be easy to break it on the other side. Having said that, we then thickened up these two flats, thickened up the center sort of winding area, and now, happy to say, we have a lovely pickup. There it is. Ta-da! It's radius like the body. It's angled to 17 degrees, which matches the splay of the Multiscale, and it suits the string spacing of 10.8. So at the position of where it is, this is 76mm. So the poles will be sat correctly underneath the strings. This outer cover has been 3D printed and then obviously painted by Brian in the same method. The pole screws, the idea is because you want sort of like what Fender did when they were adjusting or sort of changing the heights of their pole slugs or the magnets on their pickups, the height adjustment. This gives me a nice height adjustment. It's going to be nice and consistent, and I think with the radius of the strings, it's going to look really nice. And then on the back, I've done a very similar polished aluminium base plate supplied, cut and supplied by Fletcher at Smelly Cat Creations. So thank you so much. I wanted it looking like a soap bar, wanted it to look visually from the top least invasive as possible, but it really did mean, I mean, this is a spare one, but you know, we've had to really go down the full custom route because of the pole spacing. No one did it, so we've had to get custom keeper bars. The bobbin's obviously custom, the cover is custom, the whole fit, the base plate as well, custom. It's just been a whole interesting project. A lot of work for a pickup, really. This is wound with a ceramic magnet at 18K, so it's going to be a hefty sound. Suitable, I think, for this instrument. With also a split coil function. Of course, we've got the 4-core cable. So now, it's just about putting it into the guitar. We have the guitar, or if I don't bash the tripod. So the guitar is strung up, it intonates really lovely, just kind of dialing in the string heights and things like that. One thing is like a last thing to do is the nut is a little bit high, as you can see where the strings pass through. And a trick a friend taught me was to lay masking tape either side of the nut and then use a file to just basically hit the top of the masking tape. Now I'm going to use a couple of layers because you just want to add, you know, you don't want them sat too high, but at the moment they're in chasms, and then I can shape it and sand it in. Just going to use some low tack masking tape over the strings, and when I start to touch the masking tape, that's when to stop, and then I can go up through the grits of sandpaper. I'm not going to go too abrasive, but it's going to use a medium file, and then you can also angle it down to where it needs to be. So obviously the nut's going to be higher at the F sharp because this is an H string, and it's making all sorts of noises, and then it will get lower down towards the high E, and then yeah, you can just angle for the string break, being careful with the string holder because I really don't want to mess up the chrome on that. Take your time, because you can always remove the material, you can never add it in. So I'm just going to go to a finer file. Yeah, that's looking good. Just going to use a dress nut file, like nut shaping file. Bring the edges in. And then we can go on to the wet and dries. Da-da-da-da. I like to get these little soft pad 3000 little sanding papers. Now they're not wet and dry, but because of the foam on them, they just kind of blend everything really nicely. And then hopefully a little extra stage that I like to do is get your dress end file and just these sharp edges. Now, something on my website I want to redo, and that is the landing page video. And I can't think of any better guitar to do it with. So I'm going to show you the little process of that. I think I've got enough shots. I've basically done all the stills, and then I've laid the guitar down and done all sorts of landscape shots for the video with lights sort of trickling the edges and beauty shots, beauty shots, beauty shots. So now I just need to upload the SD card, send them to myself, and then it's lots of Lightroom sort of editing. It's not Photoshop, Lightroom, just to adjust all the exposures of where I don't want to target. But yeah, I think this one's pretty much all good to go. There we have it. Conclusion, I will outro this video to the video that I've made of the light sweeps. I'll put a link down below to the page that will display the new Tamar 8 with the Riviera Bridge and Pink Sparkle. As of me recording this particular outro, I am trying to get into the Bristol Guitar Show to exhibit, which is June 14th at the Bristol Stadium somewhere, have a Google of it, which that guitar will be in the public domain for the first time. If you are in the Bristol or surrounding areas, then come and say hello, come and play my guitars. It'll be great to meet all of you. But without further ado, thank you for watching and goodbye.